You're planning tomorrow. Maybe you've got a meeting scheduled, an appointment, a flight to catch. You know what time it is. You know where you need to be. The future is set. It's waiting for you. Tomorrow exists, just not yet. It's out there somewhere, ahead of you in time, and you're moving toward it at 1 second per second. That's obvious, right? The past happened, the present is now, the future will happen. 3 distinct regions of time, past, present, future. A timeline stretching from what was through what is to what will be. This is how everyone thinks about time. This is how you've thought about time your whole life. Except it's completely wrong, fundamentally, devastatingly wrong. The future doesn't exist yet. It doesn't exist at all. It will never exist. And once you understand why, once you see what time actually is, you'll realize that everything you think you know about causality, about free will, about the universe itself, is built on a foundation that dissolved the moment Einstein put pen to paper. Let me tell you something about simultaneity. Right now, at this exact moment, what's happening on Mars? You might think that's a simple question. There's a now on Earth, and there's a corresponding now on Mars. Whatever's happening there right now is simultaneous with whatever's happening here right now. Obvious. Except ask a physicist, and they'll tell you the question is meaningless. There is no now on Mars, not in any absolute sense, not in any way that corresponds to the now you're experiencing on Earth. Because simultaneity, the concept that 2 events happen at the same time, depends on your frame of reference. It's not absolute, it's relative. And that relativity doesn't just mean it's hard to measure. It means there is no fact of the matter. No objective truth about what's happening on Mars right now. Because right now is not a property of the universe, it's a property of your perspective. Here's what Einstein showed with special relativity. Time and space are not separate. They're woven together into a single 4-dimensional fabric called space-time. And in space-time, the way you slice up events into past, present, and future depends on how you're moving. If you're standing still relative to Mars, you'll divide space-time one way. You'll draw a line through the 4-dimensional manifold and say, this is now on Earth and this is now on Mars. But if you're moving relative to Mars, if you're on a spaceship traveling toward it or away from it, you'll draw a different line, a different slice through space-time. And that slice will include different events on Mars in your now. Events that were in the future for the stationary observer might be in the present for you. Events that were in the present for the stationary observer might be in the past for you. The slicing is arbitrary, perspective dependent. There's no privileged way to do it. No correct answer to what's happening on Mars right now. Do you see what happens? If now is relative, if simultaneity depends on reference frame, then the future can't be a place you're moving toward. Because what counts as future depends on how you're moving. For someone traveling at a different velocity than you, events that are in your future might already be in their past. And events in their future might already be in your past. How can the future be something that doesn't exist yet if it's already in the past for someone else? How can time be something that flows if different observers disagree about which events are simultaneous, which are earlier, which are later? The answer is that time doesn't flow. Time is a dimension like space, and the future doesn't not exist yet. It exists right now, all of it. Every event that will ever happen to you, every moment of your life from birth to death, all of it exists simultaneously in the 4-dimensional structure of space-time. You're not moving through time toward the future. You're a 4-dimensional object, a world line stretching through space-time, and every point on that world line exists with equal reality. The you reading this sentence exists. The you 5 minutes from now exists. The you on your deathbed exists. All of them, all at once. Not in time, in space-time. And what you experience as the flow of time, as the sensation that the present is moving forward and the future is becoming present, that's not time moving. That's your consciousness moving along your world line, experiencing different slices of a static, eternal 4-dimensional structure, one moment after another. Not because those moments are being created as you experience them, because your experience is traversing moments that already exist. Let's be honest, this is insane. This is the block universe. The idea that all of time, past, present, and future, exists simultaneously in a frozen 4-dimensional space-time. that nothing is becoming, nothing is changing. Change is an illusion created by consciousness experiencing different slices of a static structure. The entire history of the universe, from the Big Bang to the heat death, it's all laid out, all equally real, all existing at once. The only thing that flows is your awareness, sliding along your world line, creating the sensation of time passing. But the time isn't passing. You're just experiencing different parts of it sequentially. If you want to understand how the universe actually works, not just how it looks, but how it works, hit that subscribe button. Let's find things out together. Stay with me because this gets worse. If the future already exists, if every moment of your life is already laid out in the space-time manifold, then what happens to free will? When you make a decision, when you choose to do one thing instead of another, what are you actually doing? According to the block universe, you're not creating the future. The future already exists. Your choice is already made, already embedded in the structure of space-time. You're just experiencing the moment of choice, the sensation of deliberation, the feeling that you could go either way. But you can't. The world line is fixed. The choice is already part of the geometry. You're not authoring your future. You're discovering it, experiencing it, living through moments that were always going to happen exactly the way they happen. This is the part that keeps me up at night. Because if the block universe is true, if relativity requires it, and all evidence suggests relativity is correct, then everything is predetermined. Not by some external force, not by fate or God or destiny, by the structure of space-time itself. The future exists, it's already there. Every event, every choice, every moment of joy and suffering, already laid out in the four-dimensional manifold. And you, moving through it, experiencing it one moment at a time, you have no more control over what happens than you have control over what happened in the past. The past is fixed because it already occurred, but the future is also fixed because it already exists, just not in your present. It exists in a different slice of space-time, a slice you haven't experienced yet, but it's there, as real as yesterday, as unchangeable as history. Think about what this means practically. Tomorrow's meeting, it's already happened. In the four-dimensional sense, in the structure of space-time, the meeting exists. The version of you sitting in that meeting exists. What you'll say, what you'll think, what you'll feel, it's all already there. You just haven't experienced it yet. Your consciousness hasn't traversed that part of your world line, but it will. And when it does, you'll have the sensation of making choices, of saying things spontaneously, of reacting in real time. But all of it was already part of the structure, already embedded in the geometry. The sensation of spontaneity is an illusion. The feeling of creating the future is a lie your brain tells you because it doesn't have access to the four-dimensional view. It only experiences one slice at a time, one moment. And in that moment, the future appears open, undetermined, full of possibility. But it's not. It's fixed as the past. Now I want to take this deeper. Because the block universe doesn't just mean the future exists. It means time is an illusion. Not that time doesn't exist. Time exists as a dimension. But the flow of time, the passage from past through present to future, that's not a property of the universe. That's a property of consciousness. The universe doesn't have a present moment. It has a four-dimensional structure where every event has a time coordinate, just like it has spatial coordinates. And those coordinates are all equally real. The Big Bang is as real as today. Your death is as real as your birth. From the perspective of space-time itself, from a view outside time, nothing is past and nothing is future. Everything just is. Distributed across the time dimension the same way it's distributed across the space dimensions. What you call the present, the now you're experiencing, that's just your location in the time dimension. It's where your consciousness is currently positioned on your world line. But that position isn't special. It's not more real than other positions. It's just the one you're aware of right now. And as your consciousness moves along the world line, as you experience moment after moment, each of those moments feels like now. But they're all equally real. The you of 5 years ago experienced their moment as now. The you of 5 years from now will experience their moment as now. And from the four-dimensional perspective, all those nows exist simultaneously. None of them is the real now, or all of them are. It doesn't matter because now is a local phenomenon, a feature of consciousness experiencing a particular slice of space-time, not a feature of space-time itself. Let me bring this to something visceral. Think about a memory, a vivid memory from your childhood, a specific moment. Can you see it? That moment feels past. It feels gone. It happened years ago. But in the block universe, that moment still exists. The child you were, experiencing that moment, that version of you is still there, still embedded in space-time at the coordinates corresponding to that time and place. They're not gone. They're just in a different part of the four-dimensional structure, a part you can't access anymore because your consciousness has moved on. It's further along the world line, but the moment itself, still there, still happening, always happening, forever frozen in the eternal now of space-time. And here's the truly disturbing part. That means you, right now, are also frozen. This moment, this exact configuration of you reading these words, processing these ideas, it will exist forever. Not in your memory, in space-time. The moment itself is permanent. You think it's passing. You feel it slipping away into the past, but it's not going anywhere. It's a coordinate in the four-dimensional manifold, and coordinates don't move, they just are. What's moving is your consciousness, your awareness, sliding along your world line, leaving this moment behind in your subjective experience. But the moment remains, forever, as real as it ever was, as real as it will ever be. Think about death. You're moving toward it, 1 second per second, getting closer, inevitable. And when you reach it, when your consciousness arrives at the final moment of your world line, what happens? In the block universe, nothing happens. That moment exists. It always existed. The moment of your death is as real right now as the moment of your birth. It's just further along the time dimension. Your consciousness will experience it eventually. Will traverse that part of the world line. And then what? Does consciousness stop? Does it continue somehow? The block universe doesn't answer that. It just says the moment exists. All moments exist. What it means to experience the last moment, what happens to the subjective flow when there are no more moments to flow to, that's still a mystery. But here's what we know. If the block universe is correct, if the future exists, then your death already exists, right now. Not in some abstract sense, literally, in space-time, at a specific set of coordinates, and you're moving toward those coordinates, not because time is flowing, because your consciousness is traversing your world line. And that world line has an end, a final point. And at that point, you'll experience whatever it is you'll experience. And that experience is already part of the structure, already determined, already real. You can't avoid it by changing the future, because the future doesn't change, it just is. Now here's what makes this beautiful, instead of just terrifying. If all moments exist, if the block universe is real, then nothing is ever truly lost. Every moment of beauty you've experienced, every moment of love, of joy, of connection, those moments still exist. They're not gone. They're embedded in space-time, forever. The people you've lost, the moments you miss, they're still there, still real, not accessible to you anymore because your consciousness has moved on, but real nonetheless. The universe is a four-dimensional gallery of every moment that has ever occurred or ever will occur, and all of it exists simultaneously. All of it is preserved. The passage of time doesn't erase anything. It just moves your awareness to different parts of the structure. But the structure itself is eternal, complete, unchanging. And if that's true, if every moment exists forever, then the moment you're in right now matters. Not because it's creating the future is already created, but because this moment is eternal. This exact configuration of reality, this precise arrangement of atoms and energy and consciousness, it will never occur again, and it will never cease occurring. It's happening now. It will always be happening now, at these specific coordinates in space-time. This moment is your permanent contribution to the structure of reality. What you do, what you think, what you experience right now, it becomes part of the eternal tapestry, not temporarily, forever. You're not writing a story that will be forgotten. You're carving your experience into the bedrock of space-time itself. The future doesn't exist yet, because yet is meaningless. The future exists, period. It's not ahead of you waiting to become real. It's already real, already there, already as fixed and unchangeable as the past. The only thing that doesn't exist yet is your experience of it. Your consciousness hasn't arrived there, but it will. And when it does, you'll discover what was always going to be there, what has always been there, waiting at those coordinates in space-time for your awareness to finally traverse them and experience what was eternally present. You are not moving toward the future. You are a four-dimensional object existing across time, and your consciousness is experiencing that object sequentially. The flow of time is the flow of awareness through a static structure. And that structure contains everything: past, present, future, all of it, all at once, all equally real. The universe is not becoming, it is, completely, eternally, and you are a permanent part of it. Every moment you've lived, every moment you're living, every moment you will live, all of it exists forever in the frozen geometry of space-time. The future exists, you just haven't experienced it yet. If this twisted your brain a little bit, good. That means it's working. I'll see you in the next one.